Hey, it's Frencho CJ here, and I'm bringing you guys my team builder video for week 8 of the UBC season number 5. We are going up against Reckless Bat, coach of the Texas Tyrantrums. Do go ahead and check him out. He and I are kind of neck and neck in this division right now, as we are with a couple other people. Turkey is kind of around the same record that we are. Levine MA is close to the same record that we are. And so we really need every single win that we can get, because we're coming down to the wire here. We're 2/3 of the way through the season after this week is done, and I really want to make sure that I make playoffs after coming up empty last season. So I'm sure that Nick, aka Reckless Bat's, thinking the same thing. So let's just go ahead and look at this team matchup. So he has Manaphy, Zard X, Necrozma, Nidoqueen, Whimsicott, Crobat, Electros, Conkeldurr, Seismitoad, and Escavalier. This is a really funky matchup. This is pretty tough, honestly, because he's got some really big setup threats, like the Manaphy, Zard, and Necrozma. And I'm forced to bring some mons that I think otherwise aren't amazing versus the rest of his team. Like Weavile, for example. Like, it's really only there for the Necrozma, but he's got like the Zard and the Conch and the Escavalier to all do pretty well versus it. So that kind of stinks. And then, I'm kind of worried about Manaphy. Like, I've got an Assault Vest Goodra, but Goodra is just bait for Zard. It's bait for Conch. Crobat does really well versus it. Whimsicott can kind of be an issue for it, even though like it can't do a lot of damage to it necessarily. I'll probably do like 30% with a Moonblast. But Goodra I really want to bring for Manaphy. I really would like to fit Steelix on this team, because Banded Bat is really troublesome for my team. I don't have great responses to it. Now that Steelix is my only flying resist. I guess before my only other flying resist was Electrode, which doesn't really count. But at least Electrode can outspeed and threaten it and things like that. Now I don't have that option, so that really sucks. Nidoqueen's really hard to pivot into. I'm not bringing like a Blastoise or anything that's kind of bulky enough to switch in on it. Really, the only thing that wants to take hits from it is Goodra, but Goodra I need to keep as healthy as possible for Manaphy, should the need arise. And then Eel's just annoying in general. Like, I don't have a lot of ways to hit it on my team. I only have Toxic on one Pokemon to wear it down, so pretty much I just need to hit it as hard as possible, but, you know, it drinks almost any hit and fires back extremely hard as well, and it's got great coverage, so it can hit anything it wants to on my team. So this is a really hard matchup, and at least I got a couple things going for me. Like, his hazard removal's kind of bad. He only has Crobat for hazard removal, so if he brings it, he might have to, he might not be able to bring Banded because he wants the Defog instead. He is greatly pressured by spikes, which is quite nice for me. And, he doesn't have Ghost Resist, so I'm able to use Decidueye offensively this week after bringing some bulkier sets earlier this season. So let's just quickly hop into the team builder. So we are bringing a defensive helmet, Lando, Stealth Rock, Toxic, Earthquake, and Psychic. Psychic, I guess, is interesting because I want to be able to hit the Conch a little bit harder than with Earthquake. And it's also nifty in case I get burned. And it also allows me to hit the Crobat at the same time. Like Edgequake versus his team made a little bit less sense than this moveset, I think. And there's not a whole lot that I need to speed creep here. Because he, his only has, Nidoqueen in between Manaphy and Lando. That's his only other mon, I think, that's kind of in that same speed tier. Yeah. It just is this, and then the next speed, I guess Necrozma counts too. But we still outspeed a 0-speed Necrozma, because that hits 194, and we should hit 196. Yeah, so we still outspeed a 0-speed Necrozma, which is nice. We can hit up with Toxic, and that's very good. But yeah, this is here just to pivot into Zard and into Crobat, and then if I can get up rocks with this thing, I'll be in really great shape. This thing is really, really pressured, so that kind of sucks for me. But I think this is a good set this week, and I'm going to be combining it once again with a Rocky Helmet Quillfish. I brought this versus Professor Chipboard when he was facing us back in week 5, somewhere around there. I mean, he had a Zard, and so I used these two Intimidate Mons to weaken him down. Whoops. So this time, instead of packing Taunt, we're packing T-Wave, because I want to be able to paralyze a Zard or a Manaphy that's setting up. Quillfish, like, it's not the bulkiest thing on the special defensive side, but we might be able to take a grass or energy ball. We can look this up real quick. We can go to Calc, and let me go back to my team builder. We're just doing some learning together, guys. I hope that's fine with you all. We'll do import, and then a Quillfish. Here's my bloat, Manaphy. Tackle 3 attacks. Let's give it energy ball. No, that definitely still kills at +3. So maybe I could put a little bit of SpDef on this. How much do I need? Like 100. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. I don't see why not. So we'll take out of here, go to 100, and then drop down. Just because I don't need like the full defense investment. But yeah, being able to potentially live an energy ball from full is nice, because then I can go for that T-Wave and hit it. As I mentioned, he is very vulnerable to hazards, so spikes on this thing is pretty nice, and then Waterfall P-Jab is just the coverage that we're going with, because it hits most of his team for damage. Next up, we've got an AV Gudra physical. We've got Power Whip, Dragon Tail, Earthquake, Fire Punch. Hits most of his team. Power Whip is there for Manaphy, of course. And then Earthquake hits things like Nidoqueen. It hits Zard if I feel like I need to stay in and not prevent it, or not allow it to set up. I guess in that event, maybe the Dragon Tail is better. It depends on what if I need more damage or if I just need to phase it. And I don't want to risk the chance to miss if I click Earthquake instead of Dragon Tail. So we do live a +3 Sub-Zero Slammer with this set, and we should do like 60% or so or more with our Gudra with Power Whip. If yeah, we do 60% to 70%. So depending upon what sort of spread he's got. If he's like a Calm Mind set, which I don't think is very popular anymore. Yeah, it's not even on here. But let's do like a 248, 252 bold set. That's well, let's not do Rindo Berry. So this is doing less damage, but it does, it does do enough. I don't think like a defensive set makes sense versus my team. Like Water Spam is not good enough versus me. So that's the purpose of this set. Next we have a Scarf Victini, V-Create, Zen Headbutt, Bolt Strike, Energy Ball. I wanted this to be able to outspeed Crobat, outspeed Manaphy if it does bring a Z Rain Dance set, which again I don't think is the most likely, but I don't want to take chances. I can potentially 2-hit KO a weakened Charizard. Like Zen was going to do like 33% min to a Charizard. Otherwise, I just have nice coverage versus his entire team. And he does have like a couple of V-Create switch-ins, like his Zard and his Toad and stuff like that. But I can do a lot of damage to his team otherwise. It's just a nice sort of safety net. I hate bringing just Scarf sets all the time, and I'm not even bringing U-Turn on this set, which doesn't make me that happy. But I feel like I needed it this week. We have a kind of funky Weavile set. Ice Shard, Ice Punch, Knockoff, Natural Gift. Icicle Crash and Natural Gift are incompatible, so we had to go with Ice Punch this week. And we put enough speed on here for Whimsicott. Like, I don't think he's going to bring him back speed Whimsicott. Actually, we probably should just go with an Adamant Nature, especially since we don't have a boosting item this week. So we can just go with this spread like that. I think I'm comfortable with that because there's nothing else that I need to worry about outspeeding. And it gives me a slightly more powerful Ice Shard versus the Crobat, which again, that's one of the biggest fears I have in this matchup. So I have enough ways to deal with it offensively. I can outspeed it with a couple Mons, and I can Revenge Kill it. And I've got my dual Intimidates with Rocky Helmet, so it should get worn down as long as it's not packing like Roost or something like that. But yeah, we obviously have the Natural Gift Electric here for the Manaphy. There's probably a different berry that I can put on here. I should look it up before the battle starts. I know that some of the berries are not released this gen, so I'm not sure which ones are legal and which ones are not. But we can, I'll look that up, and if I can get a higher power thing, I will, because this is just 80 base power, which is not amazing. But Manaphy otherwise is a really nice Weavile check. Like a defensive, holding a Z Crystal is an amazing check to Weavile. It does not care about knockoffs or ice moves. So, and then last but not least, we have a Choice Scarf Decidueye, Leaf Blade, Spirit Shackle, U-Turn, Defog. He does not have a Ghost Resist, so Spirit Shackle is really nice versus him. Leaf Blade is there for Manaphy, of course, U-Turn for momentum, and then Defog in case we need it in an emergency. I don't know if I'll need to click it, but it is nice to keep my Victini and my Weavile a little bit more healthy. I guess I could put something like Toxic onto this thing instead, but that's what we're going to go with. And then the EV spread, it's enough to outspeed a Crobat that's speed creeping Weavile. I don't know if he's going to go just max or not. I can't outspeed Crobat with, I guess I might as well just put it all into speed. But this hits 393, and Crobat at max speed hits 394. So I'm still short, but maybe if he's just speed creeping a little, we'll be able to surprise him. So that's the hope here. And yeah, that's the team this week. I did have a mock battle versus David, aka Magic, and I'm definitely grateful for that. It went well, but I'm just still nervous about the prospect of Crobat. Nidoqueen and Electros are really annoying to deal with, and obviously any of his setup threats could be really bad for me. So we'll see how it goes. I've definitely got my fingers crossed, and I won't be upset if it doesn't go well, just because I know that Nick's pretty good, and he's obviously got a great team. But in terms of our season, this is a rather important match. We've lost a couple of unlucky games, got lucky in a couple as well, but this will really put us in a good position to finish out the season strong. So battle will be going up at around 5 p.m. tomorrow. Hope you guys are looking forward to it. And if you do like this video, make sure you check out the channel for other gaming and Pokemon content. Until the next time, I'll see you guys later.